So I have been suggesting that we're going to move from the table to the stable, and here we are. It's not quite Bethlehem, but it is our 2020 stable, and it's where we're headed next. Sort of. You see, this week we're going to look at the Nativity from the perspective of Matthew's Gospel, specifically Joseph's story. Now, here's the thing. Again, there's no mention of a stable in Matthew. By the time the wise men visit, Mary and Joseph and Jesus have been rehoused. They're no longer in the stable, no matter what your nativity scene says. The wise men find them in a house. And in case that shatters your nativity thinking, just don't let it. It's all part of the story. The wise men are part of the overall package. But they didn't come to the stable. Not even in the King James Version, in case you think it was something lost in translation. Even in the King James Version, they came to a house. But that's not the point today. Matthew begins his gospel with the genealogy of the family of Jesus. Who his family is, his family tree, where he comes from, and suggests where he's going. It's a fascinating study in itself, but again, that's not the point of today's thoughts. This week, we're going to look at life from Matthew's perspective. For whom it was important to establish Jesus in the family, in history, in his place. This is how the birth of Jesus came about, starts Matthew. And then he starts with this whole fabulous, bizarre story. He says, Joseph finds out that Mary is pregnant. Joseph decides not to marry Mary. He has a dream. And he hears the real story, that this baby is different. He hears that this baby needs to be born and needs to be called Jesus. And as if all of that isn't bizarre enough, he comes to understand that this baby will be the Savior of the world. Matthew makes a side note here to let the reader know that this was prophesied by Isaiah. But there's no stable. There's no star. There's no shepherds. But it's quite a story. It's quite a dream. What do you do with something like that? Well, here's what Joseph did. He took Mary as his wife. He named the baby Jesus. And he raised the Son of God as his own. Let's look at it together this Sunday at 10:30 around the fireplace in what I am now calling my new living room.